everyone. Welcome to Friday night, 6 p.m. Yin Flo. We will get started tonight on our back. So let's just move right into any comfortable shape on your back, whether that is the traditional Shavasana, legs and arms long. You prop up your knees with some pillows or cushions if you'd like, or taking feet mat width distance and letting the knees fall in together for constructive rest pose. Settling into whatever shape you've chosen to begin your practice today. Closing the eyes, starting to bring the attention inward. To the breath, to the physical body, to the mind. Take a deep inhale through the nose and a full exhale out the mouth. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. One more inhale through the nose. And an exhale to release, sighing out. And then sealing the lips. To draw inhales and release exhales, both through the nose. Bringing a slight constriction into the back of the throat so that the breath is just audible to you. Begin to imagine a light flowing in the center of your chest. And with every inhale, the light grows a little bit bigger. And the light begins to fill the chest cavity, the upper body, and then eventually this ball of light grows big enough to surround your whole body. Feeling the warmth of this light, visualizing its brightness around you. letting the glow bathe you as though you were sitting outside in the sun on a comfortably warm day. Next, we'll start to bring some small movements into the limbs, rolling out wrists and ankles, moving through elbows and knees, and letting that movement travel closer to the trunk of the body. And on your next inhale, taking a long body stretch, reaching out through fingertips and toes. And then exhaling to draw both knees into the chest, wrapping arms around shins or knees, hugging the legs in close to you. Inhale to reach out long, full body stretch. Exhale, we'll hug just the right knee into the chest, interlacing fingers around that shin. Inhale to reach out long. Exhale, left knee hugs in, fingertips interlace around shin. Inhale to reach out long. Exhale, both knees in once again. Moving through one more round of this, hugging in each knee on its own. And then both knees together. And when you've brought both knees in to chest, we'll send the soles of the feet up towards the sky. Fingertips reach up towards the sky. Inhaling here. Exhale, we'll drop left foot and right arm. The left foot drops, right arm up overhead. Inhale to bring both back to center. Exhale, right foot, left arm. Inhale to bring both back to center. And continue with this movement, opposite arm, opposite leg, dropping to the floor. On your exhales, option here to bend the knees and just drop the heels if it's a little too much to do straight legs. Totally fine. Do one more full round, each side. And then when you're finished, we'll hug knees back into chest one more time. And then rock and roll our way up into seated position. Or simply roll off to one side and press yourself up to a seat. Once you find your comfortable seat, we'll inhale, arms up overhead. And exhale to drop left arm to the ground, right arm up and over, reaching out long through fingertips. And we'll just make some big circles with that right arm. Taking it nice and slow, really feeling the outer limits of the range of motion of your shoulder joint, and then switching the direction of your circles. Next time your arm is up overhead, we'll bend at the elbow and drop the hand behind the back of the head, so kind of catching the back of your head with your hand. And then inhale, we'll lift gaze up towards the ceiling, opening through chest and opening of that bent elbow. And then we'll exhale to curl, bringing elbow to point towards floor, gaze comes to the floor. Inhale to open and lift. Exhale to curl. Inhale to open. Exhale to curl and close. Do two more on this side. Nice. And then the next inhale, we'll come back to center. Exhale, right arm drops to the floor, left arm up overhead, reaching on through fingertips. And then we'll take those big circles through the left shoulder. Switching directions. And next time that arm is up overhead, we'll bend at the elbow, catching the back of the head with right palm. And then we'll take that open and closing motion again. So inhaling to open, lifting gaze, lifting chest. Exhale to curl, gaze to the floor. Inhale to open. Exhale to fold and curl. Inhale to open. Exhale to close. 2 more rounds on your own, using the breath to guide the pace of the movement. Next inhale, come back to center, arms overhead. Exhale, we'll hinge at the hips, folding over legs. Hands can come to the floor, curling over the lower body. Inhale, walk hands back in towards the body. Arms come overhead. And then exhale to bring hands to a prayer position and drop it behind the back, creating a little shark fin behind the head and getting some more opening in the shoulder joints here. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale to fold over bent legs or folded legs. Inhale, back up. Exhale, drop hands behind head, little shark fin. Inhale, overhead. Exhale to fold. Inhale to lift. Center. Exhale, drop that to prayer behind the head, open the shoulders. One more round. Inhale to center. Exhale to fold. Inhale to center. Exhale, dropping hands behind the head. And then we'll just let that go. Take a few neck rolls and shake that out. Drawing some semicircles from one shoulder to the other with your chin. Letting head drop to one side and shifting gaze up towards the ceiling, down towards the floor. Taking that on the other side. All right. And then we'll be back in neutral spine. Next, we'll uncross our right leg and clasp hands around the sole of the right foot, keeping the left knee bent. We'll inhale, lifting that heel up off the floor. You're going to start to just bend and straighten through that right knee from this seated position, using the resistance of our hands to support it and also create some tension and stretch. You can experiment with the position of the leg, so you can bring it a little wider or bring it out straight in front of you, and just notice how that changes the sensation in the back of the leg. All right, and then we'll release that right leg back to the floor, recross it, and then we'll take that on the left side. So hands clasping around on the left sole of the foot, and we'll begin to bend and straighten through left knee. Again, playing around with how wide or closed that hip is as you take this kind of active, dynamic stretch of the hamstring. All right, so then we'll release left leg back to the floor into a seated position. And then we'll just take some twists, kind of like a washing machine, kind of just like letting the arms, the weight of the arms pull us into the twist. And next time you twist over to the right, we'll pause and hold here, setting right hand or fingertips on the ground next to the spine to support the lift through the crown of the head. Using your inhales to create length and exhales to gently deepen the twist. Maybe gaze starts to move over right shoulder. Next inhale, move back through center, and then exhale to take that twist over to the left. Again, using your exhales to carefully deepen that twist, using your gaze to continue to bring it into the upper part of the spine. Next inhale, move back to center. And then exhale, we'll rock forward to hands and knees. And we'll first just take some organic movement here. So maybe that will be some cat-cows. Maybe it will be side-to-side movement or rolls through the spine. Moving forward and back, whatever your body is calling for today. And finding stillness and finding a neutral tabletop position. Nice stable foundation. And our next inhale, we're going to reach right fingertips out long. Left foot comes straight, sole of the foot reaches out long. With opposite arm, opposite leg, reaching out once again. Exhale, we're going to draw that knee and elbow in towards center together. Inhale to reach out long. Exhale to draw towards center. Inhale to reach. Exhale to center. Inhale to reach. And then next exhale, we'll release that hand and foot back to the floor. And then we'll take that on the other side. So inhaling, left fingertips long, right sole of the foot out, long behind you. Exhale to curl, knee and elbow in to center. Inhale to reach. Exhale to curl. Inhale to reach. Exhale to curl. Last inhale, we'll reach long. And exhale to release everything. Back to tabletop. And then from here, we'll take knees wide, toes together to touch, and send the hips back. The heels and sink into child's pose. Letting the forehead melt into the floor. Chest and belly drop towards the floor. Reconnecting with the breath again. And that ujjayi breath, that gentle constriction in the back of the throat. And finding a smoothness again in the inhales and the exhales. Next inhale, move back to tabletop. And exhale, we'll step feet back, tucking toes under to come into a plank position. Nice long line from heels through the crown of the head. Really pressing the earth away with the palms of the hands. Engaging as many muscles as you can. One more inhale here. Exhale, hug left knee into chest. And then step that, or right knee, step that right foot in between hands, coming into a low lunge. And we'll drop the back knee to the floor and untuck the toe. And we'll start to move through some dynamic lunge and half split. So inhale, we'll drop the hips, lift the chest. Exhale to send the hips back and straighten through the right knee. Inhale to walk forward into the lunge, dropping the hips. Exhale to send hips back and straighten the front leg. Continuing to move through these two shapes. A few more times on your own breath. And the next time you're in that half splits with the straightened front knee, hips back towards the heel, stay here, folding over that front leg, flexing toes back towards the body, keeping hips square to the front of the mat, so making sure we're pulling that left hip forward so that we're not collapsing open to the side. Nice inhale, we'll rock forward into that low lunge once again. And we'll reach up the back toe, lift the back knee, and then inhale, arms up overhead for high lunge. Feeling a nice, strong shape here. Feeling the strength of the lower body supporting us. Inhale to reach fingertips long. We'll exhale to hinge forward from the hips, sending fingertips back for airplane arms. Inhale to come back to center. Exhale, we'll take that little shark fin again. So prayer position, hands behind the head, opening the chest. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, airplane. Inhale, overhead. Exhale, shark fin. Inhale, lift. Exhale, airplane. Inhale to lift. Exhale, baby shark fin. Inhale back to center. This time we will ground the back heel. Get a little more stability in our foundation here. And then hands will come to hips and we'll straighten to that front knee. Coming into pyramid pose. Inhale to lift through the crown of the head. And exhale to hinge from the hips. Folding over front leg. Keeping the spine flat for as long as you can before starting to round. And fold over front leg. Making sure you have just a little bit of bend in that front knee so that you're not locking the leg out. Might be more or less depending on the flexibility of your hamstrings. If you're like me, they're a little bit tight, so I have a little bit of a bend. Crown of the head can release towards the floor. One more full breath here. And then hands will come back to hips, and on an inhale with a flat back, we'll lift back up to standing. Next exhale, bend through that front knee. Bring hands to the floor to frame front foot, and step back into plank pose. 2 full breaths here. Next exhale, left knee draws into the chest, and left foot drops in between hands, coming into a low lunge. And then we'll drop that back knee, untuck the toes, and then start to move through a half split and lunge like we did on the first side. Inhaling to drop the hips, lift the gaze, and exhaling to pull hips back and straighten the left knee. And then next time you're in half splits, we'll stay here, keeping those hips squared once again. So pulling that right hip forward a little bit. And just letting the upper body round over that left leg. Next inhale, move back to low lunge. And then tuck that back toe and lift the right knee before coming up into high lunge. Here, just taking a moment to set up our foundation, be adjusting the feet if you need to. And then we'll move through that arm flow again. So inhaling at center, exhaling to hinge forward, airplane. Inhale to lift. Exhale to drop the prayer behind the head, lifting the chest. Inhale to center. Exhale, airplane, reaching through fingertips, opening the tops of the shoulders. Inhale to lift. Exhale, baby shark fin. Inhale, lift. Exhale, airplane. Inhale to lift. Exhale, drop that prayer behind the head. Inhale, back to center. And then we'll ground that back heel once again, straighten the left knee to set up for pyramid. Exhale, we'll drop hands to hips. And then inhale to lengthen through the crown of the head. And exhale to hinge forward from the hips to fold over left leg. Again, keeping the back flat for as long as you can before starting to round over left leg, letting hands drop to the floor, letting crown of the head fall towards the floor. Very relaxed. Inhale, we'll bring hands back to hips. And with a flat back, coming back up to stand. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale to bend that front knee, bringing hands to frame either side. Stepping back into plank pose. And then dropping the knees out wide and sending the hips back into child's pose. One more time. Forehead connects to the earth. Arms reach out long overhead. We'll inhale to tabletop position. And then we'll exhale to straighten the left leg out long behind us. And then open up left hip, left shoulders, left fingertips reach for the sky for modified side plank. Option to do full side plank here. And bringing both legs out long. Or staying with that knee dropped. Whatever is in your practice today. And then if you're taking a full side plank, we'll drop that knee back underneath us once again to the modified side plank. And we'll inhale with fingertips reaching up towards the sky. And then exhale to thread that left arm through right arm, right leg. Inhale to lift and open. Exhale to thread. Inhale to lift. Exhale to thread. One more inhale to lift. And exhale to thread that arm through. And then we'll inhale and bring ourselves back to a regular full plank. So both hands to the ground. Both toes tucked. And then we'll move to the other side. Switch sides so I can face the camera. So we'll drop left knee to the ground. Open out right arm, right hips to the side of the mat. And again, you have the option to do a full side plank here if that's in your practice. Taking just a couple of breaths here. And then we'll all drop that left knee back to the ground. Inhale to reach out long. Exhale to thread right arm through. Inhale to open and reach. Exhale to thread. Inhale to open. Exhale to thread. One more inhale to open. And exhale to thread through. And then we'll make our way back to plank once again. Both hands nice and strong, pressing into the ground. Long line from the heels to the crown of the head. We'll inhale here. And then exhale to lower all the way down to the ground. Belly comes to the floor, chest comes to the floor. And bring one cheek to rest on the ground. Arms can come long alongside you. And then we'll inhale to bring gaze towards center and zip up the legs, drawing inseams of the legs together, drawing feet together. We'll clasp hands behind the back. Our next inhale, we'll use those interlaced fingers to pull back towards the feet, lifting the chest, lifting the gaze for locust pose. The base can be a little bit lifted here, but not so much that you're cranking the neck up towards the ceiling. So try to still keep long, some length in the back of the spine, the back of the neck. One more inhale here. Exhale to release, letting the other cheek fall to the floor. Hands can come alongside the body once again. And then we'll prepare for a second round. So flipping the legs up once again. Clasping hands behind the back. Chin and gaze come to center. And then inhale to pull through those interlaced fingers, lifting chest. Pose style, stay pressed into the ground here, but legs are active, so squeezing the thighs and quads so that the knees come away from the ground. Couple breaths here in locust pose. Next exhale, release. And then we'll bring hands back underneath shoulders. And press through tabletop to come to a seated position. One more time. And for my seat, we'll bring soles of the feet together to touch. Knees out wide for butterfly pose. Heels can be as close in to the body as you want, or close in as is within your range of motion. Hands can clasp at ankles or shins, knees, feet. We'll inhale to lengthen the spine, and then exhale to start to fold over legs and feet. Hands can walk out in front of you on the ground or stay in the body. Next inhale, we'll start to walk hands back toward us, lifting back up to a seat. And then exhale to bring knees together. We'll roll onto our backs, keeping knees bent and soles of the feet planted on the ground about hip width distance apart. Here, going to inhale to lift hips up towards the sky. And exhale to roll the spine back down to the ground. Inhale to lift. Exhale to roll back down. Inhale to lift. Exhale to roll back down. One more inhale, we'll lift hips, and this time we'll stay here. Arms can stay alongside the body, pressing into the ground, or you can interlace fingers behind the back. Pressing the forearms and outsides of the hands into the ground. And keeping the glutes engaged here so that we're not just crunching the lower back. As we press up here, we're really creating an engagement through the whole trunk and the core in our bridge pose. One more full breath. And exhale to release any grasp on the hands and slowly roll each vertebrae back down to the ground, one at a time. From here, we'll move into our last shape, which will be legs up the wall. You can either do this just a freestanding version by reaching soles of the feet up towards the ceiling, legs straighten overhead, or if you have a piece of wall handy and you want to do this supported, you scoot yourself up next to it and tip legs and feet up to rest along the wall. This is a really great gentle inversion. Allows the blood flow to reverse, bringing the feet above the level of the heart. It really helps calm down the nervous system. If you want to stay and legs up the wall as your final resting position, you can certainly do that. Otherwise, you're welcome to begin moving into your final Shavasana, whatever that might look like. And as soon as you found the shape that you would like to stay in, getting out any last little movements before finding stillness and just allowing the effects of your practice to sink in. Wherever you are, you're ready to move on with your day, your evening, starting to deepen your breath, drawing fresh air back into the body, and bringing some small movements into the limbs, rolling out wrists and ankles, bending and straightening knees and elbows, rocking head side to side. Before rolling over onto either side and curling up into fetal position. And taking a few breaths here. Before using hands to gently press yourself up to a seat. Eyes can stay closed. And we'll seal the lips and draw a deep inhale through the nose, filling the belly, ribs, and chest. And then sighing it out the mouth. And hands can come up over the eyes, or gently blinking them back open, and letting the hands fall back onto the knees, the thighs, letting the light of the room come back in. And bring hands to prayer position, heart center. And just take a moment to acknowledge and thank yourself for taking some time out of your day for your yoga practice. And thanking and acknowledging anybody else who may have come and practiced alongside you from their own space. Thanks, everyone. Glad you could join me tonight, and I look forward to practicing with you again next Friday.